It is spending nearly $500,000 of your money investigating what they call potential irregularities in New Mexico's insurance fraud fund.
And tonight in a Target 7 investigation, Jason McNabb explains what the fund is for and what exactly those allegations are.
The fund is to pay for investigations of insurance fraud. It's made up of fees paid by insurance companies. Tonight, we're learning the person in charge of those investigations has been placed on leave, and she's claiming she's the one that blew the whistle on potential fraud.
The Office of the Superintendent of Insurance is responsible for making sure we all pay fair rates for our coverage.
They regulate and try to be a watchdog themselves relating to insurance in the state of New Mexico.
And whenever someone is accused of making a false claim against their insurance company, they investigate.
The law enforcement branch of the Superintendent of Insurance office does have the ability to make arrests, take cases to court like any other police agency.
To fund these investigations, insurance companies pay what's called an assessment fee based on how much the state expects to spend.
Somebody has to pay the bills, though.
Paul Gessing of the taxpayer watch group Rio Grande Foundation says that cost is passed down to all of us.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, the consumer, the person who is buying the insurance policy and benefiting from that policy, is paying for investigations and other work of the commissioner.
Now, according to these documents obtained by Target 7, the Office of the Superintendent of Insurance hired an outside agency to investigate potential fraud on themselves. The price tag? $471,000. They're looking into how the money that funds the investigations are being collected and spent.
It's ironic in this case that an agency that's tasked with investigating fraud is itself being accused of fraud.
The allegations came to light last week when Roberta Baca, the person in charge of investigating insurance fraud, filed multiple lawsuits alleging the agency retaliated against her because she blew the whistle on how insurance companies pay into the fund and how that money was being spent. Baca, who's also an attorney, is a member of the New Mexico Law Enforcement Professional Standards Council.
The state has a relatively new law called the Whistleblower Protection Act, which says if you are making claims about misconduct within a public agency in the state, that you have a right to bring those claims and that there are certain remedies that are attached to the law.
KOAT legal expert John Day says this particular whistleblower lawsuit is unusual.
What's unusual about this is it's actually coming from within the office. It's one of the high-ranking division leaders claiming that there is significant misconduct in the state insurance superintendent's office.
Day says what's also unusual is that Baca made claims in the past that the firm hired to investigate that the, quote, irregularities was improperly getting the state contracts because the company had a relationship with current insurance superintendent Alice Kane.
Some of the issues raised in the lawsuit are the state money paid to an outside an accounting agency to do an investigation into a branch of the state office that has a pretty small budget. So there's a lot of money being spent on the outside investigation, about a quarter of the money that the agency that's being investigated actually has.
We reached out to the superintendent's office. They would not go on camera. However, their attorney said in a phone conversation there's no evidence of missing money. The attorney says what they call irregularities came to light from other people in the agency and not Baca. They also said it's too early to tell exactly if there are any irregularities.
This isn't the first time Baca has sued her employer. She settled a lawsuit earlier this year for $100,000. She claims the superintendent violated her Information of Public Records Act requests. For Target 7, I'm Jason McNabb.